Good evening and welcome to ThaiPBS English News Service. I'm Subhajon Klinsuwan. It was a bloody Valentine's Day in Pridi Phnom Yong today when at least 3 bombs exploded on Sukhumvit 71 today earlier this afternoon. One of them severely injuring the bomber himself and some passerby. Another suspect involved in the bombing has now been caught as he attempted to flee the country. Officials cannot yet confirm if this case is linked to the Lebanese terror suspect detained earlier this year. This was a footage collected by an amateur cameraman, and this unnamed Middle Eastern looking man in his 50s was found lying with his legs blown off in front of Pridi Phnom Yong 31 near Kasem Pithiya School. According to police reports, 3 people, including this man, ran out of Pridi Phnom Yong 35 following a loud blast. As the other got on a taxi, this man, already partially covered in blood, was rejected by another taxi. He then threw an explosive device from his bag at the taxi, damaging the vehicle and injuring at least 4 more people. The bomber then walked from Soi 35 to Soi 31, where the police encountered him. However, the man took out another explosive device but dropped it and blew off his own leg. He is now in police custody after being treated for his wounds at Chulalongkorn Hospital. The hospital's press release says that they have no knowledge of the man's identity. Meanwhile, police reported they have arrested an Iranian man suspected to be one of the 2 people who got into a taxi in front of Pridi Phnom Yong 31. He was later referred to as 28-year-old Saeed Murabi. The suspect was on his way to Malaysia. He is now in police custody. Meanwhile, back in Pridi Phnom Yong 31, where the first blast occurred, officials found a partially destroyed house inside the soi. Neighbors claim the 3 people, 2 foreign men and a Thai woman, rented that house. The bomb disposal unit found 3 unexploded C4 bombs in the rented house. The Prime Minister and the Department of Special Investigation both say that this case is too delicate to quickly conclude if the bombers on Sukhumvit 71 today are related to the Lebanese terror suspect detained earlier this year. The Thailand Tourism Council, however, says that this event will surely affect the tourism industry in this country. Gongkrit Hiranyakit, head of the policy division of the Thailand Tourism Council, says the government must speed up investigation and conclude whether or not the incident today is related to terrorism. If not, it must do its best to announce to the world that Thailand, especially Bangkok, is safe from terror activities. However, Thailand must do its best in keeping security in place. The UK is one of the first countries to once again post a warning to British citizens who are coming to or staying in Thailand to be cautious. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is also asking foreign governments to not yet conclude if the recent bombings in Sukhumvit 71 are terror-related. Meanwhile, Chumpon Silapa Acha, Minister of Tourism, has ordered the terrorist police to beef up security in crowded tourist hotspots. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra, who is now up north, says she does not want to comment just yet as it might affect investigations. Both the Prime Minister and Tharit Pengdit, who is the Director of the Department of Special Investigation, both say this case is too delicate to quickly conclude if it is related to the Lebanese terror suspect detained last month. Tomorrow, the National Security Council is expected to hold a press conference on this matter. Thailand and Cambodia reached a decision during the 5th Joint Boundary Commission meeting to send a joint survey technical team to the site of the new permanent border checkpoint at Nong Ien in Sa Kaeo's Ayutthaya Pradesh district, opposite Sting Sabat of Ban Chiem Intoy province of Cambodia, to mark the border area before both sides start the checkpoint construction.
The Joint Boundary Commission's 2-day meeting ended this afternoon after both sides agreed technical details on how to proceed with the auto-photo mapping along the common border and a time frame for the survey to locate border pillars, some of which had vanished, between border pillar 1 at Chong Sangam in Srisaket Pusing district to pillar number 23 in Surin province. Both sides also agreed to send a joint survey team to Nong Ien area of Ayutthaya Pradesh, opposite Stungbot of Ban Tieng Meanchey province, with the aim of placing a mark on the area before both sides started construction of permanent border checkpoint for which both countries already gave their consent.
To the area was that they would, on the 5th of March, send a joint survey team to the area in which there will be the opening of the new international border checkpoint at Sukhumvit, Aranyaprathet in Thailand, Sukhumvit on the Cambodian side. That will take place on the 5th of March. Additionally, after that is completed, after there's a detailed survey of this area, they will proceed with a joint survey of Sector 5, which includes the boundary pillars 1 to 23.
Bandit Soti Palalit, Joint JBC chairman, told ThaiPBS that he was much happy with the meeting outcome, which had run smoothly and successfully, since both sides agreed from the beginning not to raise any conflicting issue for discussion, which helped push forward the border demarcation.
The Prime Minister has reiterated that short-term flood prevention projects must be complete at least 30 days before the rainy season starts, while some water retention areas have now been pinpointed. Prime Minister Eng.News was in Phitsanulok province this morning to meet with local authorities. Her visit to the lower northern region is part of her top-to-tail trip along the country's water lines. After her visit to nearby Nakhon Sawan, a 4,000 rai or 640 hectare piece of land near Bung Kilang, Bung Takreng and Bung Raman will now be used to hold some 32 million cubic meters if the floods head south. The government is also planning to dig up Bung Si Phai Lake in Phichit province to retain another 15 million cubic meters of water. However, local authorities and the government will study the environmental impacts before giving the final go-ahead. Prime Minister Yingluck reiterated that short-term flood prevention projects must be completed at least 30 days before this year's rainy season arrives. The practical solutions and planning are to be implemented to help with the national flood plan. After ratings agency Moody slapped credit downgrades on 6 European Union countries due to the region's weak economic outlook and uncertain attempts to implement reforms, the stock exchange of Thailand as well as Asian markets today fell. The stock exchange of Thailand's main index dropped 10.99 points or nearly 1%, as the same as other Asian stock markets including China, Japan and South Korea. Moody's Investor Service downgraded its credit ratings on Italy, Portugal and Spain. France, Britain and Austria kept their top ratings but had their outlooks dropped to negative from stable. Moody's also cut its ratings on the smaller nations of Slovakia, Slovenia and Malta. All 9 countries are members of the European Union. The downgrades came amid efforts to prevent recession-mired Greece from a chaotic default on its massive debts. On Sunday, Greece's parliament approved sharp cuts in civil service jobs, welfare, and the minimum wage, required by international leaders for $171 billion or 130 billion euro bailout that the country needs to avoid defaulting on its debt next month. As the euro debt crisis shakes the world's economy, questions arise regarding the ASEAN Economic Community's integration and single currency. Dr. Runtip Chodnapalai talked to Dr. Surin Pisawan, ASEAN Secretary General, about the AEC and how Thailand is to restore confidence after the floods.
From national markets, for Thailand 65 million to 600 million, both as a base of production and as a market. Are certainly very, very attractive to potential investors from outside. But first and foremost, the Thais must believe in the Thai economy. Thais, potential investors in Thailand must invest in the Thai economy, and all ASEAN countries must cross over into each other's.
For Thailand, when we have the flood going on in 2011, anything that you think that the Thai will try to boost the confidence, restore the confidence among the foreign investors?
I think actions speak louder than words. That's the words of Deputy Prime Minister Kitirat Naranong. So we have to embark upon quickly, with determination, and show our determination and our seriousness to the investors who are already here, who have been here with us, and those who are looking for investment opportunities in into ASEAN, into Thailand, into all member states of ASEAN, that we are serious, that this catastrophe will not be repeated. Everybody has an interest in helping maintaining Thailand's economic resiliency. I think those who have invested so much for so long would not pick up and go. But those who are just smaller players, very little investment, but they are important. Hard industries, supportive industries, they can pick up and go quite quickly if they don't have the confidence. And that's what BOI, what the government, what the Ministry of Industry, and what the Ministry of Finance will have to convince them that we are serious and we have it under control, that we want to move forward.
So the European Union and ASEAN, would ASEAN be like the European Union, or what would be the difference between ASEAN and European Union?
We have always said that the European Union is our inspiration, but it is not our model. We don't want to repeat the mistakes, and there have been a lot of mistakes. We have a lot of mistakes ourselves. We have a lot of issues to resolve. So we have to learn from each other. I think the idea of single currency has never been on the table, has never been on the cards for ASEAN or even for East Asia. There will be major currencies emerging in East Asia or in Southeast Asia or in ASEAN, but it's not by design. It will have to be the result of a natural course of evolution.
The popularity of Valentine's Day is reflected in the increase in the prices of traditional gifts like flowers, especially roses. We'll now take a look at flower arrangements that can convey meaningful messages. It might be just a rose, but this well-known professional florist, Puana Chumsi Karin or Eo, has arranged it in such a way to add more color with creativity. And by applying artistic skills, self-taught Eo has focused on the love and passion of flower arrangement, and now Eo has developed a unique style. It is not only the freshness and beauty of the flowers, but also how one puts them together, whether it is a bouquet or in other forms of arrangement. Although others may point out that flowers are a luxury, which might not be strictly necessary, for Eo, flowers represent meaningful feelings more than words can say. Happy Valentine's Day, that is. And that brings us to the end of tonight's program. And by the way, Thai PBS is conducting a survey to gather audience views on our English news service. So you could show your opinions by completing the questionnaire between today until February the 29th via thaipbs.or.th/Eng.News survey. That's ENGNEWS survey. And that's it for tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. Enjoy the rest of Valentine's Day. Good night. Sawadee krap.